This is video 6 of Advaita Vedanta Non monism as taught by Sri Ramana Maharshi. In video 5, we saw the method of Drik Drishyam, the seer and the seen. When we do self-enquiry, we do use some methods. The first method is the seer and the seen, in which we understand and separate what is the real I in me and what is the non-self in me. What is the self in me? What is the non-self in me? We saw that if anything is an object of perception through the five senses or through the mind, we are not. For example, we do perceive the body, it is an object of awareness, we are not. The mind is an object of awareness, we do know that we have a mind, so it is not us. And the material world we see through the five senses, through the five senses we experience the world, we hear the world, we see the world, we smell the world, we touch and taste. None of them is the real I. I am the screen, the background screen, in which all these are appearances and disappearances. See, Advaita Vedanta does the discrimination act. Discrimination is separating. Seeing one thing as different from the other is called discrimination. This is bottle, this is a comb. This is not a bottle and this is not a comb. So we are seeing things as separate from each other. That is the discrimination, that is the meaning of discrimination. So the first method is seer and seen. The Atma is ever the witness. Witness of what? All there is, all the objects, including the body, mind, the Atma is ever the witness. It is pure consciousness. You remember the lake example? There is no reflection at all in pure consciousness. Simply because a reflection falls on the soul, on pure consciousness, we cannot take that reflection as the I, the real I in me, as Atma. The second method is the method of the five sheaths, five layers. They will say, I am not this body, I am not this breath, I am not the mind. When you say the mind, it includes the ego also. Ego means I am the body sense. All the memory, everything put together, I am not. The fourth sheath is the sheath of the intellect. We use the intellect to make decisions, to separate things, to understand things by dividing them. The intellect we are not. And in deep sleep, we experience a kind of blankness and a sort of bliss. And that blankness we are not. This way we have rejected everything, starting from the body, the breath, the mind, the intellect, and that blankness of deep sleep, we have rejected everything, dismissed as I am not. Then what am I? What is left? This is the way to inquire. And we have to be doing this vicharam, this discrimination, continuously till we realize our true nature. Because the default mechanism is one of mixing up pure awareness and objects of awareness. It is exactly because of this reason that we are unable to realize our true nature. That is why effort is needed. That is why sadhana is needed. That is why practice is needed. The third method is called Avastatraya Vicharam. It is from one of the major Upanishads called Mandukya Upanishad. It is an enquiry into the three states of our everyday life. Here we are not talking some far-fetched theory. Simple experience every human being has every day. From that, the Upanishad derives or it points. With the help of these three states, the Upanishad points to who we are and who we are not. What does a man do every day? He wakes up in the morning, does his activities, goes to sleep and has a dream. Then he slips into a deep sleep where there is neither dream, nor the mind, nor the senses. Everything is switched off. Again, morning he wakes up, does his work in the daytime. Night he goes to sleep, dreams, slips into deep sleep, again wakes up. This cycle goes on and on and on. Mandukya Upanishad says, we are not the three states at all. It is said that the Atma has four aspects. Among them, the waker. When I am awake during the daytime, I call myself the waker. I am not the waker. When I dream, I am the dreamer. I am not the dreamer. When I am in deep sleep, I am the sleeper. I am not. And the Mandukya Upanishad uses a word called Turiyam. Turiyam means four. We have already covered three, so naturally there must be one four. What is that four? That is Atma, that is pure awareness. It is on that awareness screen that this Sendivel, the dreamer, the waker, this Sendivel, the dreamer, and this Sendivel, the deep sleeper happens. So can you just separate it? See, this is Turiyam. Turiyam is the substratum awareness in which this Sendivel happens as waker, dreamer, deep sleeper. Waker, dreamer, deep sleeper. We should not remain mixed up like this. We should separate through vicharam, through discrimination. What I am not. So, this inquiry of the three sheaths says we are not the three sheaths at all. What really experiences the three states of waking, dreaming and deep sleep is the mind. And we are not the mind. We are the background awareness or pure consciousness. To sum up, three methods are used in Vedanta. The first one is the seer and the seen. Am I the seen? No. Anything seen, anything perceived, I am not. So far whatever we have thought ourselves to be, we are not at all. Not the body, not the mind, not the world, not the universe. The second method says, the five sheaths I am not. The sheath of the body, the sheath of the breath, the sheath of the mind, egoity. I am the body sense, I am not. And the intellect with which we make decisions, I am not. And the blankness of deep sleep, I am not. Then what is left? Only pure awareness is left because we have removed all objects of awareness. So naturally what is left is only that pure consciousness. That is what we are. We should stay in that. We should abide in that. Only then we will realize ourselves. We will reach the state of samadhi, then sahaja samadhi. Being established in pure consciousness, existence, consciousness, bliss. And all study of Vedanta or Sri Ramana Maharshi's teaching is towards this end, towards self-realization. We do Atma Vichara or self-enquiry in order to realize our true nature. The third method is called the method of three states. Waker, dreamer and deep sleeper, I am not. I am the background awareness which never sleeps, which never dreams, which never is awake. In the sense the mind is always present. It is ever present, it is immortal, it is unborn, it is undying. That is what you are. That is what I am. So where is the confusion? The mixing up is the confusion. The subject and the object, when they get mixed up, we tend to think that we are the object. When I say the object, I mean the body, mind, the world and the universe. So Vedanta wants us to first separate who I am not. I am pure consciousness, spirit and none of the objects of experience. Then once we realize ourselves fully, firmly, we will understand and realize that this is not something different. The objects are not something different. They are not apart from the self. Then we will realize Advaitam, that we are one only. And as Atma, we are one. As pure consciousness, we are one. As existence consciousness, bliss, we are one only. But this body, mind and the world and universe are nothing but appearances and disappearances. Advaita says the world or prapancha, universe or the body, mind, they don't have an independent existence at all apart from the self. We are fundamentally the self. Bhagavan would say, the self is the only reality. The self is all alone. One only exists. What is that? You, me, as individuals? No. All the world, the universe? No. The substratum, the awareness layer, the consciousness layer, the existence consciousness bliss layer, that is what we are. And we should not imagine that as an object, Atma as an object. We can never know Atma as an object. The way I see this bottle, experience this bottle, I cannot experience Atma at all. So, how to know that self? You cannot know the self. Then why make all these efforts? You can be the self. So, knowing the self is being the self. That's what Bhagavan has said. Knowing the self is being the self. We can only be that self which illumines, which supplies power to the mind, body and the senses. Even Bhagavan has used this example of a main electric switchboard. From there, assuming there is a main electric switchboard, from there power comes here to the brain, which is the seat of the mind. And that illumines the mind. The mind in turn illumines the 5 senses. And through the senses we perceive the world. This is the logic.